the Trump result later that year and other results we've had. The polling industry is struggling reputationally, isn't it?
It does, and people only take notice of the ones they get wrong. So the attention is always on the ones they get wrong, inevitably. Mm-hmm. But actually, if you look at 2019, for example, they did pretty well. In the United States in 2020, they didn't do well. No. So they've gone for a great review as to what they got wrong in 2020. What happens is generally it's one demographic that suddenly, or fairly suddenly, changes its approach. And that's what happened in relation to this country in 2019. It's what happened in the United States in 2020, is that key demographic graphics suddenly change their approach to the political parties.
And the industry gets it right sometimes and doesn't others.
Effectively, they're fighting the old war because their numbers and their weightings and all their assessments are worked on what happened last time, and they don't adjust quickly enough to what might happen next time.
Now, you've been around the block politically, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. You're a veteran commentator, and you've seen these challenges before.
I have.
So, to begin, is it a disaster for a sitting Prime Minister, Conservative Prime Minister, to face a challenge at all?
It is. It's seriously damaging. It's not the absolute disaster in itself. Normally what happens is the disaster comes afterwards, because defeat is an attritional process of which a vote of confidence is part of that attrition.
Now, you've got with you some books from previous contests that took place in the Conservative Party. Explain all, please.
I've got here the books where I did the work on the position for Mrs. Thatcher in 1990, when she faced votes of confidence and then leadership elections against others. And what I did was I took a list of members of the House of Commons and I just worked my way through, because I'd heard over years, and I tend to remember key conversations, and I measured every single person whether they would vote for Mrs. Thatcher or against her. And then if there was to be a second ballot, how they would vote without Mrs. Thatcher. Would they go for Douglas Hurd, or would they go Michael Heseltine or John Major? And my expertise, in inverted commas, had come from 1989, when I advised Cecil Parkinson of the number of dissenters who would vote for Anthony Mayor.
Just to remind viewers, this was the first challenge. There was a confidence vote or a leadership challenge in '89, wasn't there?
In '89, what was proverbially called the stalking horse, Sir Anthony Mayor.
Yes.
First time that Mrs. T had been challenged from within the party, and I think Number 10 at the moment are making many of the same errors that Number 10 made with her, because they were going out saying, oh no, there'll be no support for the opposition, Anthony Mayor's only going to get 20 votes. Now I remember talking to Cecil Parkinson saying, he's going to get 50. He'll get 50 and it's with abstentions. And if you're telling the nation it's going to be 20, then 50 is an absolute defeat for you.
Right.
So it's the messaging of it. And you've got people like Nadine Dorries saying, oh, well, there'll be so few opponents. It's just a group of people got up by the media. Now, it isn't a group of people got up by the media. When you have Steve Baker and Mark Harper on one side of the political argument, and Bob Neill and Stephen Hammond on the other side of the political argument, Remain in the latter case and Leavers in the first case, that's not a media-inspired debate. That's a debate because of personal feelings.
Yeah.